1,
2,
Cameraman 3.
4, 5,
6.
The argument on whether or not parents should use corporal punishment or spanking as a form of discipline for their children has been an ongoing controversial debate for many years. However, steadily each year, the number of experts that advise against spanking have greatly increased for a variety of different reasons. More and more studies conducted continue to yield findings that suggest that spanking leads to many negative aspects in a child's life and ultimately does more harm than good in the long run. Unfortunately, despite these evidences, about 61% of parents still condone spanking as a regular form of punishment for young children, according to parenting.com. Today, I'm going to explain the elements of studies and research that advocate against spanking and detail why it is essential for parents to use other forms of punishment that are non-violent for discipline. I'm sure everyone here is well aware of the phrase monkey see, monkey do. As illustrated by my video, the saying is often used to describe children's behavior when they observe someone doing something and then imitate that particular action. While this particular example illustrates the adorable side of this type of mimicry, the concept turns very unpleasant when it is directly related to the issue of spanking. Children, particularly infants and toddlers, learn more from behavior that is modeled for them than from anything else. Spanking demonstrates to children that it is acceptable to hit people as a way to resolve a problem. This is one factor that contributes to the elevated level of aggression that children who have been spanked have compared to those who have never experienced any forms of physical punishment. A recent study conducted by Tulane University and published in the American Academy of Pediatrics this month found that children who are spanked frequently at age 3 are more likely to be aggressive at age 5. The study surveyed 2,500 mothers across the U.S. 46% of the mothers reported that they had not spanked their child in the past month. 28% reported 1 or 2 spankings, and 26% reported spankings more than twice. 2 years later, the mothers who had spanked their children more frequently reported higher levels of aggression in their 5-year-olds. The children showed more signs of aggression, such as arguing, screaming, fighting, destroying things, or bullying. The researchers of the study considered various other factors that played a role in increased aggression, and even after those factors were taken into consideration, the positive connection between spanking and aggression remained strong. The study provides the strongest evidence yet against the use of spanking. Edward Christopherson, a distinguished clinical psychologist at Children's Mercy Hospital and Clinics, details the correlation between spanking and childhood aggression. He explains that children imitate behavior that their parents model for them. If parents use spanking as a means of controlling their children, then their children are much more likely to use physical force with playmates and siblings. Therefore, in order to teach a child the proper way to act, a parent must provide a good example for them to follow and use other non-violent forms of punishment as discipline. The Tulane study is only one of many studies that reveal the detrimental effects that come along with the use of corporal punishment. Another study, led by a University of New Hampshire professor, Murray Strauss, focuses the results of spanking in relation to a child's IQ and explains the negative effects that spanking can have on a child's cognitive skills and their ability to perform well intellectually. Murray Strauss is a well-known author and has been awarded many honors in his lifetime by various professional associations for his knowledge and work in the sociology field. The study looked at about 1,500 children in 2 different age groups. Researchers tested each of the children's IQs at the beginning of the study and observed them for the next 4 years. Then they were tested again. Both groups of children got smarter with age, of course. However, those who were spanked had a slightly lower IQ than those who were not, across both age groups. As with the previous study I discussed, other factors that could have affected the results were taken into consideration. Although the results are not based on cause and effect, they do show a significant association between spanking and intelligence levels. The results results of this study received considerable attention by parents and youth abroad, and caused many to ask, how can this be possible? Strauss details the science behind spanking and explains why it is so harmful to children. One critical explanation is that spanking can cause chronic stress that disables a child from being able to think cognitively, and this can lead to much worse problems in the future. Another reason is that when parents use hitting rather than talking and explaining a child's mistake, they prevent their child from being able to think independently and learn how to solve problems appropriately. It is important for parents to use discipline as a learning experience and not solely as a punishment tactic. Many experts confirm that corporal punishment is not the appropriate method to use when disciplining a child. As the amount of evidence confirming that it can be detrimental to your child's behavior and intelligence increases, it is essential for parents to take into consideration the consequences that come from it. The facts are all here. The studies conducted illustrate the harms and dangers that can result from the use of spanking. Sometimes it may be easier or more convenient to spank your child rather than explaining their errors. But remember, each time you do this, you are setting an example that can affect the rest of their life.